Hi everyone, welcome back. If you guys have attended our previous session, then you know me. Otherwise, I'm Priyanka and I'm a UX researcher and trainer with UX experts. And we have Mr. Tushar Deshmukh with us, who is the founder of UX Expert and the director of UX UI Training Lab. And he's the one who has provided us this amazing platform. So now I would like today we are celebrating, as you all know, that we are celebrating women in design, and I would like to introduce our fifth speaker today, senior user experience consultant at EY, Chaitali Tannevar. She is a versatile UX designer and an artist by heart who believes in the simple is beautiful philosophy. It encourages her in simplifying the complexities in design. In her 10 years of career in the field of information technology, she has juggled between multiple roles. She started her career as an QA analyst and discovered her passion for the design and moved to the UX field. She likes to design for experiences that have a real and lasting impact on people's lives. Her goal is to propagate and provide rich and inclusive experiences that are intuitive and create accessible worlds. She expertises in user experience design, usability testing, and user research. She has worked on varied applications from different domains and verticals like finance, e-commerce, healthcare, and intranet enterprise applications. Today, she is going to talk to us about usability testing. Welcome, Chaitali.
Thanks, Priyanka. Thanks for this lovely introduction.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can start with the session.
Yeah. Thanks, Priyanka. And I welcome Chaitali for this occasion of women's in design. So far, we have since morning we have this uh, various speakers are coming and talking on different subjects. So far we talk about from management side as a multidisciplinary, even for as a consultancy, what even in the branding. So we have covered different subjects, and keeping that line when we talk about UX, so ultimately we also think about somewhere about usability also. And I think for that subject you will be the correct person to talk with. There are a lot of people they have started as a career as a UX designer, and ultimately they want to become as a usability tester. And while they are doing a lot of maybe their usability testings they are doing, but they know correct approach. So today uh, we'll try to explore those things, and as today's occasion is that we are celebrating women's in design. I think you are the correct person for handling your experiences regarding as a testing and designing UX, and now you are a certified usability testing. So that is something great to achieve for your part. And so let's start today's. But before we start on core topic, uh, I would like you to give us your background so that audience will know what is your journey, and how what you makes you to come into the UX field. Then you go to the usability, and how what I think you have done one international certification for that also. So we can talk about those things, and then definitely you can continue with more. I think you have presentations for audience, so you can start on that.
Yeah. So first of all, I just want to check. Are you guys able to hear me?
Yes, definitely.
So thanks, Tushar. Thanks, Priyanka, for this lovely introduction. So first of all, I will just introduce myself. As Tushar has said, I am from. I have expertise of user experience and usability testing, but let me introduce my background. I am not from the design background, so I am from the engineering background, and luckily I got a break in UX. with my good mentors, and then I moved to UX. And luckily, I got to know work on a lot of research projects. So I was lucky to work with few startups, few MNCs, so that I can get a good exposure on usability testing and user research. So that's my background. Um, as Tushar suggested, my topic is more about something technical. So I would like to share my screen. Keep my presentation a little bit flowy with some technical things, with my experiences with different projects. So try to make not boring presentation. Okay. So let's move on. Hello.
Yeah, please
Yeah.
continue.
So yeah. So just a few words about me. Though Priyanka and Tushar describe my expertise, but I believe in simple and beautiful, and I believe as a learner, be a learner, a lifelong learner, and stay humble. And now my recent craze is spreading awareness regarding accessibility. So I'm doing that. Few of the things are like these are the few snapshot from different projects which I work on. Few are from research, few are from usability testing, and across different clients with my different companies I work with. Just I will explain you just a flow of my presentation. We will first discuss as this conference is regarding human empowerment and how we can take usability testing as a career. So I will try to introduce why there is a need of usability testing and what are the best practices of usability testing. And as a UX designer, how we can enhance this skill as a additional skill. So what are the skill required and how you can improvise your skills for that. So let's start with. Um, I will start with like in current situation. Uh, you have gone like most of the as Aboli has also explained that nowadays a lot of businesses wants to go digital, right? So most of the never before so many people has a requirement to go digital products and use it. So the need is that when they start using it, then they found out a lot of usability issues in their product which are pre-launched and which were never tested with the actual users. So that's the main problem with the projects when it is not launched, when it is not tested with the actual users, and it brings the importance of usability testing upfront. So most of the companies never take usability testing going directly with the users and directly testing with the users as a important step in designing your user experience, whatever interfaces and all. But I feel it's a very important step to take a feedback from the users. So let's move on. And before going, what exactly means a usability testing? We can directly go with the what exactly means the usability. Though few of them you will say we know all these things, but I generally feel that as a UX designer, if the steps are clear, that most of the people are from visual background, some of them are new user experience designers. So I will just try to put what are the important things that you should know when you are entering into the usability testing background, and how you will emphasize for this step for your development team and your managers, right? So before stepping for the usability testing, you should know that what we are testing, it is like we are testing for the usability, it's a part of user experience, and what exactly usability means. So basic ISA certificate, ISA definition, you got like specified goals with effective efficiency and satisfaction. these are the main criteria we can say that when we go and check with usability testing. So these are the main factors that we want to achieve or test it. So that's the main thing that not in for the COVID situation, when a general product like, for example, in COVID situation, most of the applications like school application, for example, they introduce most of the time the digital application upfront, but in COVID situation, it come up like they are never tested with the actual users. The actual users are the teachers, the kids, which are pre-primary, which are secondary students, they never tested. So at few months, they got lot of errors and lot of problems from the user. Same for the chat applications. So they never got to know that there is a need from the user, like for example, WhatsApp. So first of all, WhatsApp have only 4 users video chat, right? So then afterwards, as the need progress, that in COVID situation, though it's a situation factor, but there is also a need for the users that they want more number of people to be involved in the video chat. Then the need of the user come up like they want more features like that. So these factors come up because they never go back to the user when they introduce a feature and then test it with the user and develop it. So these are the 5 major component of usability testing or usability that we go ahead and check out. On this basis we do the testing kind of thing. Then what exactly is the usability testing, right? So usability testing is not like just going sitting there and doing a technical testing. So coming from a QA background, I have a background of testing, but that in that case we never interact with the users. So these kind of testing, usability testing, we generally go back to the user, we sit with them and get the feedback from the actual users who are using the applications. So it's very interesting kind of step when we are testing our own products, when we are testing our own designs. So it's not compulsory that we are only testing the prototype, the end product. You can directly go with the wireframes, paper sketches, even you can go with what you can say, prototypes, wireframe prototype, because based on my experiences, when we said to my managers that we want to do usability testing, so most of our managers said that we don't have budget, we don't have that much of expertise, and we don't have that much of bandwidth. So basically, you should try to explain them what is the need and why we are doing usability testing. So I believe that it's good to have all these usability lab, observer or moderator thing, but it's nice to have features, but you can also do a kind of testing or usability testing with basic users as well. For example, in one of my MNC where I am working, they are designing a intranet application for their own employees, and we insist them to my managers that we want to do a usability testing with the actual application that we are going to redesign. So if we come forward and say, because the actual users are the own employees they are doing, so start with the small projects or small steps. Go and check with the users that interact with what exactly your expectation from uh, the existing application, what are the pain points. So if we start making this practice with the small steps, so it's not like a huge every time it's not required that it's a big step and big chunk of the project we need to invest. But if there is no budget, then definitely you can start with the small thing. For example, this is very interesting picture where a particular user put a application in a cafe where that particular application is for the cafe users. So he put that application to test, where he will get a coffee on behalf of, if they tested his application. It's a very nice concept that go back to your user and less efforts, take a quick feedback from the users. So basically, directly moving, what exactly usability we go and test it is like we generally go and test the navigation part, we do presentation, how the layouts are, how the content is, and we generally take interaction part as a feedback from the user. But why to do usability testing? These are the main factors why we insist to do usability testing. And as a UX designer, I feel that if you are an interaction designer and you are a UX designer as well, so visual designer as well, you should know these best practices, so that in a particular project, if you want to assist a team to do a testing kind of activity, then you should know the basics of that. So what exactly you are going to test, why we are doing that testing for the user, why we are interacting with the user. So basically, these are the three major chunks we can say that we want to uh, uncover problems and discover what are the best opportunity if we redesign, and what are through the pain points, what are the best opportunity we can improve in the design. And the main important part about the user, who are the target users that they are going to use that particular application. So there is one term like testing one user early in the project is better than testing 15 year end. So it's very true, because most of the prototype, when we do testing on prototype level, we get a lot of errors that we can handle in the design phase only, before going into the development phase. And nowadays, if you see, we can do lot of animations and micro interactions in our prototypes as well. So just like actual website, we can design our place our layouts in a prototype tool like InVision or Adobe XD, and we can test with the actual user by checking their interaction, their first feedback on the inputs of the visual design and anything like that. So it's very helpful for the designer as well to understand the need of the user, and before it going to development phase. Because when we cover, generally QA testers do the same thing, like after development they come up with the errors, and recovering from that error takes a lot of time. So it's the first step before that. So it's very good that you should introduce this step in your design practice. So everybody knows what are the different methods before moving ahead with going deep. But nowadays in COVID situation, monitor remote usability testing is trending. So you should also aware how you can manage the user or interact with the user when the user is actually not sitting in front of you. So that skill also very important, that whenever a person is not sitting with you, and how you can guide him to do a particular task. So that is one of the important skill for a usability UX designer, to be a usability tester. So moving ahead quickly, I will just go ahead with what are the important factors, because most of the time these factors are not considered when we are designing a particular usability testing activity. Though, even though we are not, usability testing can be a small step or a plan, a step in a particular project that a client assigns some timeline to us. So when that was, we got a base of time to do the usability testing, then we should always follow these basic parts, like come up with a very strong testing plan. Because every time when we have a dicey testing plan, then the testing also get delayed. So we should come up with very strong testing plan. Then a setting of the objectives of a particular testing. Most of the time, when we start testing, we never knows the objective why we are testing the product. So with the users, so we need to sit with the stakeholders, and we need to sit with the what exactly they want to achieve with this activity, and defining a objective, strong objective is very important, that sometimes we never do that. So the next point, very important point, is the recruiting and very tedious also to recruit a particular user. These are photographs from my past project, where we tested with a user group of 2 years to I think 6 years, where the parents are one of the user group, one of the target user. So recruiting such kind of perfect users is very tedious, because I remember for this particular project, the client come up when we propose that your product required. It's a e-textile project, and when we propose the client that so you must test it with your actual users. So who are your users are like 2 years old and 4 years old. Then the designers come up like said, we have already tested that product, so we know that there is no errors in that. And when we asked them how you guys have tested that product, they said our research scientists put it on a table and then play with that. It's an augmented reality app. So play with that particular app and then it's running. But when we asked them to have a one trial run with the actual users, then they found out that absolutely their product is not working with the users. So these kind of convincing thing, when we are proposing a particular client, or I know that we are never not always lucky to have such kind of clients to get convinced and give the project, but let them know that this particular activity, what are the things they are going to achieve. So that's the also one of the factors that when we start getting the right participant, but it's not like always you should always start putting a mix of users. It should be level of expertise. It's not always the tech savvy people. It should always a mix of people. You should always consider some of the users like person with disabilities also, because nowadays when the COVID situation appear, then most of the time the application which are live and the users are using like Big Basket, DMarts and all the stuff where the grocery they are going to order. They found out that most of the applications are not accessible by the people with disabilities. So these kind of errors come up, that when you are not choosing a right set of participant, or you can say you are not choosing exactly what kind of exact participant should be there. Right mix of participant is very important. And definitely a sample size. So when the client come up and say that we don't have much budget, but anyway we like your idea, and can we test it with only 2 users? So you should insist them that no, we at least require 10 users. It's not possible with a mix of participant how many users we will require, and you should be in a position to tell them what are the exact thing they will require for the why you require this many participant. So the basic part is the base level is at least you should have a 10 participant per user group. So user group is like if you have different age groups, then it forms a different user group. So another factor we quickly move is like having a good test script and good questions. So make users or participant comfortable by stating that what exactly you are testing. Then what are the exact tasks you should mention. Then tell the users what is the purpose of the testing. So most of the time they are very much concerned or why they have come up there and testing this. So they are very much confused. So you should always try to make them comfortable and test with the other factors. So let's move quickly what are best practices. I know that most of you are also doing usability testing in actual. So I will quickly glance you what are the best practices you should follow, because most of the time we miss out all these things when we are conducting a particular usability testing. So for as per my experience, we should always try and go ahead with one pilot test. So um, I think most of the time in my previous company, I do a lot of pilot testing, but few times it is observed that we never get a chance to work on pilot test because of the time deadlines and all. And if we don't have actual users to recruit, then go and check with your colleagues, sit with them and ask them that whether they can uh, do the testing for them. Then definitely put lot of gap between the time slots. Tell the users the testing purpose and what are the products that you are testing. Make participant comfortable. So during the test, best practices are like this is the one of the picture from our one of the research where we go and visited the warehouses, where we go and check out, interacted with lot many truck drivers. And it's a situation where we are a lady user. It's a user interview, not a user testing, usability testing, but it's like a region in Haryana that we are as a female user researchers, we are sitting with them and they are very conscious that if we answer anything wrong, so how these ladies will feel that. But we made them comfortable like sir, we are not testing any of your knowledge, just let us know your experiences using this particular application and make them feel comfortable, and then they open up like with their problems and with their pain points. So always try to be when we are doing any testing, you know what are the audiences, what will be the audiences. So dress up like that only when you are going with a basic kind of setup and basic kind of user, then dress up like that and make them feel that you are like them only. So that is one of the thing. Like then whenever they are expressing anything in the particular user interview, then make them a gesture like you are um, uh, listening to them. So don't write every time that you are writing and not listening to them. It's like they are saying okay, they are not listening to us. So it's a very basic things that we need to follow when we are actually interacting with the users, because these basic things add up to their comfort level, and when the user is comfortable, then they will come up with a lot many insights. So when they feel that okay, they are not judging, the person sitting in front of me is not judging me, but I am helpful to them. So that comfort level brings up, open up the user, and then they said that okay, these are the problems you are facing, and please one of the user also tell me that please ma'am, these are the problems, so do something to do design the application and bring it something very useful to us, so that we can spend more time with the family, so that the application is taking lot of time, the existing application is taking lot of time, and they are not waiting for the application is regarding that the truck driver has to pick up something from a warehouse, and for that warehouse the waiting period they are not getting on the application. So they need to line up outside the warehouse 1 or 2 days in advance. So for that reason they are not able to spend time with the family members. So this is the actual feedback. When you get a good actual feedback from the users, as a user experience designers or researcher, you get to know that these are the problems and okay, we can resolve these problems. So let's move on. These are the few things, like we always heard that you should follow a think aloud procedure, but it's very technical term. So when you guys explain to a user what do you mean by think aloud, let them rehearse one time that, okay, give him a small task and let them say that if you are performing a particular task, what is think aloud procedure or activity means. So it will help them, unless otherwise they feel that they are very um, uh, dumb, that they are not understanding the simple language of a user interview person. So make them comfortable speaking their own language and explain them if they are confused, if they are confused and if they are confused with any one of the activity, then make them aware that these are the small things you can help me out with. So this picture is very from one of my interesting, and I work with lot many kids project, UX Chris project. And this picture is also from one of the augmented reality app we are testing with the user. So the situation or scenario design is like that particular app, when a sibling used to play with one particular that was a mat, and it's an augmented reality game come up through that mat. Then we come up with the situation like when a sibling play with the same mat with two different devices, what will be their conversation, how they will interact with the particular product. These kind of interesting things come up when we go and actually test with the users and actually go and create those different scenarios. So yeah, means usability testing is a very interesting field, and everyone should go ahead and experience this activity and interact with the users. One more thing that whenever I do usability testing is like one person who is a senior person or the one person from the client always sit or accompany us. So let them give them a sticky bar or a pen and ask them also to observe the user and put one pen point against one sticky note. So that when we do the analysis, we will also get to know that the point of view from the client perspective. So these are the few basics thing. And the most important part I feel as a usability tester is a note taking. So basically, when we are a small team and you are doing moderator, observer, and the interviewer part, yeah, unfortunately for the small teams, you are the one person who are interacting, and the only one person will be managing the devices and the camera focus and all. So that time you need to be very much efficient to note the pain points what you are observing. So the basic part is like you can design your own codes, small short codes like E is the error, this is the frustration, X is the usability problem. So you should come up with as per my I usually do lot many columns, like these are the problems, these are the opportunities, these are the what you can say expectation from the particular user from the application. So if we bucket out all these points in a notes itself, then it will help us to go and analyze these things quickly. It helps us to come up with the analysis report quickly. Otherwise, we have to go again and again into the recording and come up. That is like a wastage of, not a wastage of time, but it is a time consuming thing if we don't take the notes quickly. Then moving ahead, the basic, the main part of this presentation is what are the important skills required if you are an upcoming usability tester and you want to be a good tester. So my journey is like I work with one of few of the senior managers who also They have not done anything like they have also started testing. They are not a core UX researcher and all. They are also designers. Then we build up a team and then come up with some activity steps that we should come up with these kind of usability testing activities. But the main part is like you should always come learn through actual hands-on practice. So when we start, don't be afraid that you are doing something new and you are not a experienced usability tester. Everyone start with a small scratch only. Means it's not everyone start with an expertise level. We start with small projects, interact with the users. The most important part, when I train the juniors under me and ask them to accompany me with any activity, to make them learn the things like you should be a good listener. So a good listener is a very important skill, I must say, because nowadays the youngsters are so impatient that uh, if the user don't stuck up at some level, then they got frustrated why this user is not doing that simple step. But you should be a empathetic person to that towards a user, that okay, he is not a trained or tech savvy person like you, but the target user is like, he needs to learn all these things. We need to test it, that what is the learnability curve in that particular application. So you should be good listener, you should be good observer. So these skills, it's not like at the first one go you will learn, but step by step ultimately you will go and learn. Yeah, patience and empathetic towards the participant, because most of the time when especially when you are testing with old age people, even you have experience when you are explaining some feature of WhatsApp to your parents, then you sometimes feels why she is not understanding a simple step in. This is just a simple button, but you should understand that these peoples are not that tech savvy like you are. So you should be empathetic towards the participant, and whenever you should be good, you should have a good observation and capturing pain points and moments of delight. So these skills will ultimately come up when you go ahead and do a lot of testing with basic testing and all. And always be clear that you are good with your basics of interactions. I do feel that a usability tester should not be a core usability testing domain like person. He should come up, he should have exposure of all the fields, like he should do user research, he should be a interaction designer, he can be a visual designer. Because when we capture something interaction part or a visual aesthetic way, he should have a certain understanding of those principles. So it will be easy for a person to, when he is actually designing a particular application, so it is always easy for them to understand uh, what is the actual problem for the particular person. So I always insist my interaction designers to accompany me to understand what they have design. But I will never recommend the one who designed the particular application should test it with the user. In case you have what you can say luxury that you can invite a different member of the team and ask them to do the usability testing and sit with the user, that will be great. Otherwise you will be biased with your designs, and you will explain them that these are the things you should go here and click here. So these are the actual things when we come up. So we just observe these things. So that's why I'm suggesting. Uh, Next is like if you want to be a good usability testing person, so how you will train yourself. So yeah, the first point I mentioned is like talk as little as possible when you are designing usability testing and you are conducting a usability testing, and observe the same skill I have explained. So, so don't help the user. I know it's very, when I started my usability testing thing, I always help the user that okay, go there and click there. So then I need to control myself, said this is not the right way. With the experience, with the small projects you will do, you will definitely go ahead and master this skill. And I will always recommend for the newbie to record your pilot test. When you are doing a pilot test with your colleague, do record your pilot test with a video, so that it's not like sometimes you become conscious when the camera face means the user and you. So always try to do few of the pilot tests, record it, observe your recording, and then evaluate your performance. Yeah, I am insisting first you evaluate your performance, then you can evaluate the user's performance. Then the second point, yeah, I the participate in usability testing yourself. Frankly, today also I do participate in friendly testing, in friendly surveys to understand what are the things they are asking, how they are the other um, facilitators performing, what are the improvement factors for me to come up with my next testing. So I always prefer to go, but yeah, um, sometimes in a research project they always have a clause that you are a researcher or not. That clause is also for some projects, that if you are a researcher you cannot participate in any of the usability testing. But try when possible, whenever possible. Nowadays a lot of testing or requests are coming up for the grocery apps, for the food delivery apps, what are the telemedicine apps. So these are the things that you can relate yourself, you are yourself using those applications. So definitely you can try and participate in the usability testing for this. Then as I explained, start with the small projects, then uh, be aware of what is the importance of usability testing, so that you can evangelize your team members that these are the importance. You should start with the small steps. Then yeah, I also believe that if you are doing if you are part of an NNC and the UX maturity model, that as our previous speaker explained us, that if it is not there, then definitely to convince the team to go and keep a bandwidth for usability testing is very tough. So I always insist on newcomers to start and go and volunteer the NGOs, do their research and usability testing with them to get the exact exposure of the usability testing. So start with, I also believe my journey is also like that in MNC. When I was previously in MNC, whenever get exposure to do actual usability testing, because the maturity and awareness of that particular activities was not there. But when I work with one of the two startups, there the projects and the maturity to conduct that particular testing kind of activity is very was very they were very much aware of those activities. So it was very easy for me to convince them and start with the basics of usability testing. So yeah, let's end up. I hope you are not bored and uh, you feel that this particular presentation is a bit helpful for you all. Just remember that whenever you start doing any usability testing, it's not always that it is not always a perfect kind of usability testing. So you can always start with some small project, but the main point is to start that particular activity is the basic part that you should enhance. You should introduce this activity in your daily routine. So these are the few suggestion reads I will suggest to all the newbies. Like most of them know that these are the things, but one of the thing I will also recommend to you all is like I have done a HFI certification, and we have that in the certification a usability testing module. I have learned a lot through that module, and it clears lot my queries, and as I'm coming from a QA testing background, so it was always easy for me to relate the testing part. So yeah, so these are the things you can go ahead, and these books, few of my friends suggested that. So most of the time I go and read the blog. So mostly I go and research on the net and do aware of lot many recent trends. So yeah, that's it from my side, Tushar. I hope it's not of technical things.
It was amazing. Um, Thank you for the session, and it was really insightful. Do we have any questions from the audience? Yeah, so Ashish has put up a question. He wants to ask, do we need to convince client to do usability testing? Because most of the cases they are familiar with UX, and also do you charge separately for usability testing?
Yeah. First thing is like definitely we need to convince the client for the usability testing. From my one of my project is like they approach us only for the visuals and for the wireframes, but we insisted. But the target group they are having in their mind is totally different what they are designing for. So we ask them to do usability testing on their actual target audience with the prototype, and somehow luckily we convinced them that it's possible. So one of my colleague traveled to Vietnam and do all this testing and do all the stuff, and then we come up with the findings that look, these are the problem areas that you can take it. But the factor is like they have a basic fixed bandwidth timeline for the project. Then you should convince them that if you want to do all these problems to be sorted out, you can always put it there in a phase 2, phase 1. You break the project in phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 kind of stuff, and then implement the most critical one first, then least critical in the phase 3. So that way you can convince the client. What was the second question?
The second question is, how do you charge? Do you charge separately for the testing, other than the
Uh,
UX part?
Yeah. So when you are doing a core project in usability testing, definitely we charge extra because usability testing includes lot many things like recruiting users, conducting the user interviews, and coming up with the reports. So these are the add-on things about the UX and interaction design. So definitely you should charge more for this activity.
Mhm. We have a question from Anya. She's asking, where can we recruit users to test with no budget for that, and what can we give them for their time spent with us?
Very good questions, because when we don't have budget, so I usually go and ask my friends, and they usually ask me what is the reward that you will give me for that for that particular task. But generally it totally depends on the context of the project. When we are designing for these kids and for the e-textile project, we approach towards our friend circle and relatives and come up with the participant. But when you are going ahead with a particular project, then definitely you should charge the client for the recruitment efforts, as well as the rewards that you are going to give that particular, because unless and until you give some rewards to the user, they will not feel that they are putting something good thing in why they are doing the research for them, for us. So always try to give rewards to the users.
Mm. We have a question from Nitin. He wants to know which is better, or what do you prefer, the automated tools or one-on-one testing?
Yeah, so one-on-one testing, I assume it's like testing with the users, and automated testing is a QA analyst mindset. So coming from the testing background, when I was a tester, I was not aware of user experience and user research. When that time, I definitely said, convince my manager that automation testing is very good and a lot many bugs are coming up. But think of a way that these two definitely it's a different parameters. Like you are one is the automation testing where we are not asking the user to give a feedback, and usability testing it's purely a user feedback activity. So definitely these two things are different and we cannot judge both the things at one level.
True. We have a question from Sagar. He wants to know, how do you measure the success of usability testing?
How do you measure?
Yeah.
So actually, yeah. So usability testing, whatever I have given you the parameters and all. So we do analysis report, and analysis report we come up with 4 5 parameters, like few of the like content, interactions, and you can say aesthetics and all. First we define the parameters, and then whatever the findings come up in the our research, like if somebody is getting confused within a particular flow and he is not able to interact with the interface, then the problem is with the interaction and the flow of the application. So in a way then we highlight those flow in that we highlight those problems in those buckets, and then within that bucket you have to prioritize the steps. If it is a showstopper, means user are not able to check out a particular shopping cart, he got confused. The primary task of a particular application is purchasing and checkout, and the user are not getting through that particular task, then definitely it's a showstopper. So in a way then you have to line up it as a showstopper and then highlight it as a first priority level. This is the first thing you should come up and resolve it.
Ravinder has something to say. He's saying, "Hi Chaitali, thanks for the wonderful presentation." I work for B2B finance products for US clients who are not onboarded. So in this case, who are the actual users?
Okay. So I think it's a B2B, right? So actual user will be like the end users who are going to use those applications. So that will be your actual users.
Until he replies, we have a question from Amar. He's asking which types of usability testing you use frequently.
Frequently, we prefer to do a one-on-one usability testing when the moderator is sitting and we are interacting with the user in actual. But sometimes I also feel that remote moderated usability testing is a very good option when we want to do a lot of usability testing in different geographic area where we cannot travel. So one of my example is like one of the client from US wants to do usability testing here in India. They approach us and they want a user audience from India. They don't want to travel to India and save the expenditures. So they hire us, but we are just moderating. But she is testing from there, from US, and we are just asking the question in regional language to the user. So in a way, and now in COVID situation also, lot many people are doing remote moderated usability testing. Currently also my team is doing lot of remote moderated because no one is traveling. So these two options, I feel it's a good options for usability testing.
Going back to the Ravinder's question, he says yes, you did answer his question, but he wants to know, how do you figure your users out?
Figure in the sense कि Actually, it's a basic things when you are designing a particular applications. Like, for example, a basic question is basic example is Practo. So we will deal with the Practo stakeholders who will give us a business requirement and other things. But the actual users will be doctors and the patients. So we should ask them that if you want to do the usability testing, you should approach the actual users who are using the application, not the stakeholders who will be giving us the business requirement.
Amar has another question. He wants to know, is there any success matrix that you use for usability testing?
Success matrix is generally, yeah, means out of 10, if he, out of 10 tasks, if the user is able to complete at the most 70%, then we feel that that particular the flow of the requirement is good. They have achieved the success matrix. Other thing is like I explained the parameters and the bucketing of the things. Yeah.
Amar wants to know, rating is one matrix that he knows about. Are there any other matrices?
I think for me, I'm using this one rating matrix only and the success factor of achieving a particular task. So I think no other, for me, I have used only this matrix.
Okay, I think uh, that's great discussion, and we have covered many things in the usability testing. Uh, okay, I think Aboli has a question.
Yeah. Aboli wants to know, what softwares do you use for the remote moderated testing?
Yeah, she promised me that she will ask a question. Recently, one of my team member used Preli. It's a paid software, but you can they can share the screen, and the best part is um, we get an analysis of heat map analysis, clicks, and all. So it's very good software. I feel. I personally not tested it with the user, but one of my colleague have tested it. And other thing is like on WebEx and everything, you can definitely use for the remote moderated testing, sharing the screen and capturing the flow.
Ania has another question. Could you write the software on the, okay, she wants the names of the
It's
software.
PREELY.
Amar has another question. He wants to know, how do you target accessibility criteria?
Target. So it's actually one of the factor we use to test it as an accessibility factor, accessibility parameter. So not always, frankly, Amar, not always the user wants to do accessibility factors, but basic factors we can test is like whether the application is keyboard friendly or not. But these things come up when you are using a develop kind of prototype. But other things are whether the labels are correct or not. If the screen reader read that particular application for the user, like a blind user or not. So what are the whether they are guided properly or not. These are the parameters we can definitely check at the prototype level. Keyboard and other factors like we can definitely go with the testing side, like core accessibility testing thing.
Great. I think uh, it was great discussion we had. So I think thanks, Chaitali, for your time and giving this wonderful insight about
Uh,
usability. And I'm definitely sure many UX designer will take usability testing as a serious part of their UX process, and that could be challenging also for project managers also, and maybe in their current project also they will implement those things. There's a lot of insights there, a lot of because usability testing is itself is a huge domain, and people lot of
Right.
has to be studied. But yes, as for considering today's, I think it is wonderful session. And we cover almost every aspects of usability testing. I think thanks for your time. I think Priyanka, you can
Thanks
conclude.
for you and Priyanka for hosting this wonderful conference and giving me this opportunity to share my experience.
Yes,
Thanks a lot.
welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Chaitali. It was very insightful. People usually think that usability testing is, they only think about the evaluation part, but the great thing that you covered in your presentation, that, the recruitment and the conducting part is very difficult. The evaluation is easier than the recruitment part, which people don't understand, and which you managed to talk about. So it was amazing. We learned a lot, and thank you again for your time. Thank you everyone for joining us. Our next session is going to be at 5:30. So I hope I'll see you all over there. Bye bye.
Thanks, bro. Thanks, Chetan.
And thanks everyone for joining.
Thanks.